Hey guys, Lizardlea here for Christmas Minis Bells. So I found it on the book, but it's completely cut off. Yeah, yeah. Most books like this, not all, most, when they have a ton of patterns, there'll be a page in the middle that shows like, oh hey, here are more of the finished ones. Like I am pretty sure this one does that. It does. Like, because then you can see all of them finished because the pattern, it's not the same when it's pixelated compared to when it's been stitched. Or at least it's different for me. I don't know. My brain just does not interpret patterns correctly, I guess. I don't know, because legit, I thought it was a bear, you guys. But no. I look at it now, I'm like, yeah, it's a mouse. Okay, so this is actually a fairly simple one. I really think it's cute though. So I might finish two today. We'll see. See.
All right, so we didn't finish talking about Supernatural, but David didn't go past the first 5 seasons, so I don't know. Who else? Okay, so you didn't get to meet Charlie. You didn't meet Jody. Did you meet Garth?
What's a Garth?
Really skinny guy that replaced Uncle Bobby, kind of.
If I did, I don't remember.
Oh my god, no, I loved Garth. Garth was wonderful. He was one of the few characters that survived to the end of the show. Who else was a really good character? Chuck was great. You met Chuck the Prophet.
Yes. Chuck was good.
Major spoiler, Chuck is God. I called that very early on. Like the moment he's writing all the books about the guys and then he ends and disappears, I was like, he's God. Like, he's not a prophet, because Kevin was also a prophet and he couldn't do that. And then lo and behold, he was God all along. I felt very vindicated in that moment.
Yay.
So that means you also didn't meet Metatron. I think. Did you meet Metatron?
No, I don't think I did.
He was terrifying.
He often is. I found that kind of weird.
Well, I mean, not in the, like...
No, I just meant in, like, various movies, shows, comics.
Well, I mean, he's the one he's God's scribe. Like, he's the
Voice.
closest one to God. Yeah, the voice of God,
Yeah.
whatever, however you want to talk about it. He's played by the guy who,
Who,
he was, like, what was he named? He was, like, Burp in, not Weird Science, Revenge of the Nerds. Type in Revenge of the Nerds. I don't, maybe it was, like, fart or something stupid like that. I just, like, he burped a lot, so that's why I always think, not him, no, him.
Yeah, okay.
Booger. His name is Booger.
Right.
All right, I had the right idea. It's
Did you?
a terrible name. That's not a name. That actor is Metatron,
Gotcha.
and he is, whew, it's very scary, and he was so evil, but they actually kind of redeemed him later on when he was rescuing people, and I in my memory, I liked it. Like, usually when you do something nasty and you are just straight out a bad guy, I find it very hard to believe it.
No, I've noticed. Yes, continue.
I find it very hard to believe it when they try to do something nice and try to redeem themselves.
This is not a fan of immoral characters.
I mean, not really, but I mean, I still enjoyed him for what he was, which was a scary bad guy.
No, I know. I just, like, I have many shows I have shown you have that as their central plot, and you have not liked that.
Yeah, because when the main character is immoral and evil, I'm kind of turned off from that. Like, that's
Yeah,
not my
I know.
jam.
I know.
I don't want to follow the villain unless the villain is not 100% disgusting. Like, they have to have some kind of quality in them that I like. And just no.
Just
No.
no.
You know, you gotta be like Maleficent. Yeah, you're evil and you're horrible and you're trying to kill this girl and ruin her life because you weren't invited to her first birthday or whatever. But you can turn into a dragon. That's a redeeming quality. totally knew that would make David laugh, you guys, because I guarantee you he had no idea who I was talking about.
I knew who you were talking about.
Did you know her redeeming quality was going to be turning into a
No, I
dragon?
didn't know her redeeming quality was
Exactly.
Dragon Age.
Everyone else already knew that.
I mean, yeah, they murdered a lot of people, but they turned into a dragon, which
And then
used
they
to murder
murdered
a
more.
lot of people.
She didn't murder anybody. She just turned the entire town. She put the entire town to sleep.
Didn't she murder them all in the original story?
I don't care. I'm talking about Disney.
Okay, well,
We're not talking about Grimm's brothers right now.
Very
Those
glad
two were, they were cray-cray.
Yeah, okay.
All right, what else was really good about
I
Supernatural?
get the Disney story wrong.
They had another brother who, oh god, I'm blanking on his name.
Oh yeah, the one that they showed for like one episode and never
Yeah.
mentioned again.
Because he went to hell. He was sent to hell with Sam and Lucifer and
right.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Because he was Gabriel's.
A lot of that going on in that
Or excuse
show.
me, not Gabriel. He was Michael's vessel after Dean. Dude is in hell for like 10 seasons. Alright? They completely dropped him entirely.
Yeah.
Left him there to be tortured by Lucifer and Michael for like eternity. Didn't last that long, but torture. And it was actually the fans that were constantly talking about him and bringing him up. They did a fan episode kind of thing where they had a bunch of fans of the book series or whatever do a play, and they sang, and they mentioned that he was still in hell at the end, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, they know he's still there. They know he exists. They might bring him back." I'm pretty sure it was the final season where they finally brought him back from hell. And he and Michael were getting along at that point, so that was nice.
That's nice.
Mhm.
Horrible way.
Oh, I felt so horrible for him because I was just like, dude did nothing wrong. Like, he took care of his mom, he was eaten by a ghoul or whatever, and then trapped in hell with the devil and
they
Michael.
never brought back the child who was like...
Nope, never.
That's lame.
The kid that reminds you of Good Omens, yeah, no, he never came back.
Yeah.
And I was super disappointed with that because they brought in a kid named Jack, who turned out to be Lucifer's son with a human woman. So
The Antichrist.
yeah, and initially they were terrified he was going to be a bad guy, and then he became a good guy. But I mean, the entire time the Jack storyline was going on, I was like, they need to bring that kid back.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he comes back as good or evil, it doesn't matter. These two can face off, and that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was also... he was the opposite. He was a child of a human and a demon. So I was like, it would have been perfect if the child of a human and a demon was a good guy, because they wanted him to be good. They sent him away to hopefully be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jack comes in, the son of a human and an angel, and he's evil. That would have been so cool. Like, every single episode that came by, I was like, it's gonna happen! It's gonna happen! And then it never did. It was really disappointing.
Yeah, that's kind of a shame.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they brought back other characters, which was really cool, but that he was one that I really wish hadn't been a one-off.
Yeah.
Like, he turned Castiel into an action figure. It was so cool.
Yeah. The one thing I kind of got from the vibe of the show is that it's sort of written season by season, not with multiple seasons planned ahead. Like, maybe 2 or 3, but definitely not,
15.
to be fair, 15, yeah. And there's got to be a point where you're just like, what have we done? How do we end this? What do we do? You know, and I get that. You know, you're not supposed to have to keep doing this.
Like, one of the weirder seasons to me was the Leviathans. They're from Purgatory. So yeah, we have heaven and hell, and then Purgatory comes in.
Of course.
And they have, like, all of these teeth, and it was crazy. Yeah, like, it was crazy.
For those who can't see, like all of you, she's making teeth
With her
movements with her
fingers.
fingers.
Mhm.
It's a thing. So there's teeth.
And they're super duper evil, and there's one whose name is, when he's taking control of, like, a human or whatever, his human name is Dick, and so Dean gets a lot of jokes out of that, which was
I
wonderful.
can imagine, yeah.
Yes, it was great.
A little bit of mileage there.
What else? Rowena is an awesome character. She's a witch, super powerful, super gorgeous, wonderful actress. And turns out she is Crowley's mom, which just awesome. No, I felt like they handled that very well. In my memory, they didn't tell you for like 2 seasons or something, or heck, I'm not sure, but like they didn't tell you immediately, and the payoff was great. They end up killing Crowley at one point, or sending him to another hell dimension. I think they killed him, and then Rowena becomes the Queen of Hell, which was not done much. Like the most that happened was like she organized hell better, and I was just like, yeah, girl power.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how I was supposed to feel about it, because I was just like, Crowley was like one of my favorites very early on, and he continued to be one of my favorites throughout the whole show. That didn't die. Like, I loved Uncle Bobby, and they killed him. So, I loved Joe and Ellen, and then they died. I loved Ash, and he died. Like, they killed a lot of people that I liked on the show. I loved Charlie, and then she died.
They had a bad habit of the case of the death.
Yeah, it was sad. I'm so bad with the names, especially of the more recent seasons, just because I've rewatched the first several numerous times, versus the most recent ones I've only seen the one time when they came out. The deaf character, I really liked her because the actress herself is actually deaf. Sam's character actively works to try and learn ASL to talk to her, and they have the most adorable relationship. That was one of the few that I was like, yes, I want this to last. I love it.
Okay.
And I think a lot of the fandom agreed. I could be wrong, it's been a while, but I mean, that's the thing, like, the Supernatural fandom was very much, no, the boys need to be single, or they need to be with and that is all that I will accept. So when they had girlfriends, everybody would like riot and freak out. And my thing is like, why? If you try and freak out over a deaf girl, like, you're an extra douchebag. Because, like, come on now. I don't know, like a self-fulfilling fantasy, like, oh, this girl that's really hot and in shape and a hunter, I could never be as hot as her, and so I could never get with Dean, and that's unacceptable. I have no idea. I really liked the werewolf girl that was with Sam for one whole episode. That they tried to cure her, they thought they did, and then it turned out they didn't. Like, killing the sire is not enough. You're permanently a werewolf. I really liked her. I wish that had worked. I wasn't really a fan of Dean with the girl. Did you know he had a daughter? A son.
Yeah, wasn't that like somewhat towards the end of what I saw?
Yeah.
Yes,
it ends with them together, and then Sam comes out of hell. Okay,
yeah, because he's got to go creep on him.
Yeah, it was super weird. So later on...
Would have been a good place to end the show, huh?
It was perfect. That's why I told you should have let me pause it. So... Eventually, like, soulless Sam is how he comes back from hell. He does not have his soul. He goes out and he's just the greatest hunter of all time. Like, Sam without a soul has the physical capacities and the emotional capacities that he needs to be the best hunter ever.
You're the best around.
Yes, don't get me demonetized.
Yeah, they're gonna copyright claim that attempt. That's the one that gets it.
You never know. So
that's an easy case to fight.
So he's going out and fighting, and then eventually, like, I don't know if he goes to Sam, or if Sam goes to Dean, or if Dean finds out, but eventually Dean is just like, yeah, no, this won't work out, and so he leaves that woman and his son behind, and I want to say it was Tess, the Grim Reaper. I could be wrong, but he had somebody, like, erase their memories of him, and so he didn't go back to her. And I don't know, like, I've never been a fan of the, like, oh, we were together once, and then we broke up, or, you know, it was a one-night stand, or whatever, and then going back to that later, that's never been my jam. I'm kind of just like, nah.
One and done.
No, it was kind of just like, you stick with the person if they're the right person. You don't leave, then come back later, like, 10 years later, find out you have a kid, and then, oh, yes, I want to be with you. Like, no. I don't know. It doesn't feel earned to me, I guess. It's not believable. I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely believable. known people who tried to do that.
I mean, it's Dean. Like, you've met Dean. He cares about pie, music, and hunting.
I believed it. Like, yeah, that he lines up about right.
Well, yes, when he's not hunting, I believe it. But when he goes back to hunting with Sam, it's kind of like, yeah, no. And you always knew he was going to do that the second Sam came back out of hell.
Yeah, but nonetheless, like, it sounds exactly like the sort of thing someone like Dean would do. Like, or it could, maybe not someone like him, but I could see it within the spectrum of options.
I don't know. That's my biggest problem with end of the world movies is there's almost always a divorced couple that gets back together, and I hate that. That is one of my least favorite plot lines of all time.
Stay divorced!
Believable or not, I hate it. Like, if you are brought together, or brought back together with someone because of a life-threatening incident, that is not going to be enough to keep your marriage together again. It fell apart for a reason, it's going to fall apart again. This is bull crap. So, yeah. Basically, after we get married, we can't get divorced, because
I see.
I won't believe that we could get
I'm
back
allowed
together.
to have opinions in this relationship. Not choices, opinions. I don't get to make decisions. That's not safe.
Precisely.
Boy, we have so many dragons.
So many. We'll get more. It's fine, honey.
I see.
Yeah. So,
buttons.
I loved the show when it started. Like, I fell in love with it. And I still loved it after season 5. And then, like, season 10-ish hit. Like, it was during the Leviathans or right after the Leviathans where I was kind of just like, okay, we're trying to one-up angels and God. And it's a little bit ridiculous. Like, come on now.
They have kind of well, it's not exactly writing yourself into a corner. It's just the problem of, like, the fandom plus writing yourself into a corner. Like, okay, we did the big climax. Oh, we get to keep going. Well, they probably can't do, like, the clever thing there and, like, really subvert how the show works. And, like, well, you know, we've dealt with monsters and stuff. What if we dealt with, you know, something else or kind of tweak the formula or whatnot? Because that's not what the fandom wants. So then you're stuck in this hole of like, well, we need to infinitely escalate, but it doesn't make any sense at this point. But if we actually change things too drastically, people will literally hang us. So
True, though.
what if Dean had a relationship that lasted and he was just bad at it? Like, nobody wants to.
I don't think any of his relationships ever lasted other than that one.
Well, you did sort of point out that apparently they were literally not allowed to, which is weird, because, like, I can't ever think of a fandom where I've seen fandoms that have had opinions on relationships, but I've never seen one where they demanded they be single.
Well, I mean, like, a lot of the fandom wanted Dean with Cass, not with a woman.
Okay, fair. I guess I've seen that too.
Which, by the way, not canon to anyone that's out there cheering. Sorry, Dean looked super constipated. That's because he was straight and not in love with an angel. I'm sorry, like, I don't really care about the relationship one way or the other. Like,
I have no opinions on the matter. I only got through season 5.
Yes, calm down, honey. I was kind of just like, sure, Junkless Angel is in love with Dean. Let's go with that because that's what the fans want, not because it's, you know, reality, but sure. And I just, like, people were so excited, and they were saying how it was canon, and I'm like, no, look at Dean's face. He looks like he is constipated. Like, he does not look happy. He does not look anything other than just... And from what I understand, that's because the actor did not support the two of them being together. So, you know, whatever.
Like I said, I didn't see it, so I can't really comment.
Oh, I showed you a picture.
Well, yeah, you showed me the scene, but I didn't see the 14 or the 10 seasons in between.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, all I can say is from what I saw, it doesn't make any sense, but I don't know.
It was weird. It's a thing. It happened.
And that is the end of Bells from Christmas Minis. I got 2 hours and 45 minutes of footage. I think it came out really cute. So it actually was really comparable to this one because this one took me 2 hours and 54 minutes. So just as much effort. It's only 12:12, so I might cross stitch some more, but I'm gonna have breakfast, or not breakfast. I'm gonna have lunch first. So we'll see. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. I'll see you guys in the next video.